Hey guys, welcome back to today's video, and we're going to talk about some controversial topics in the realm of pregnancy and postpartum, because, well, obviously that's something that's going to pertain to us, and there's quite a few controversial topics though. I mean, there's a lot of people who have
something to say all the time,
even if they aren't either qualified or don't even relate to,
or if they don't even know, if they just hear a little snippet of something, they instantly will judge you.
Yeah.
And I don't know why people judge people's choices so much.
Yeah. So that's going to come with a heavy disclaimer. If you guys don't agree with us, we're not going to judge you.
Yeah.
Obviously, everything is your choice. Everything is up to your body. So
it's all up to your discretion.
It's all up to you.
Your pregnancy is your pregnancy and your pregnancy alone.
Exactly.
Our pregnancy is our pregnancy and our pregnancy alone.
Exactly.
And if you have any issues with anything that we say that we want to do, then that's your problem.
Because it's what we want to do.
Yeah. Remember, people don't have to be the same. People being different is good.
That's part of what makes us us.
Yes.
And our story, our story.
Yeah. But
I feel like a good one to start on, and one that's pretty heavy, is whether or not you give a vaginal birth or a C-section.
Yes. And just before we do get started,
you're gonna find maybe not some polarizing opinions from us, but
I think we do have opinions, and we do have what we want in a birth, but we also don't really know what we're talking about because we've never experienced every situation. And I feel like because we haven't experienced every situation, we might not even know what we're talking about, to be quite honest. So this is not advice at all. This is just what we think about certain situations.
And this is how we feel about certain situations.
Yes. So back to your question about vaginal birth versus a cesarean birth.
Yes.
So I think they're both births.
Yep.
And I think that whatever one you choose, you choose. I know people that have had planned C-sections.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that have had emergency C-sections. I know people that have tried for vaginal birth and had C-sections. I know people that have had vaginal births. And I know people that have planned C-sections that wanted vaginal births.
Yeah. And
all the babies
turned out the same.
Turned out all the same. They're all babies.
Yeah.
And everyone's happy. And the mom is healthy and safe.
Giving birth through C-section does not make anyone any less of a mother.
No,
and I've seen some almost elitism out of people who have given vaginal birth and have essentially said, oh, I've had it harder because you did a C-section, I did it all vaginally, and it detracts away from the fact that both of you raised humans out of an egg and sperm. That's already a miracle alone. So to discount someone else's pregnancy due to cesarean is toxic, heavily toxic. So we prefer, we're probably going to try to give a vaginal birth, but if that doesn't work out, there's a hospital 5 minutes away, and we're okay with cesarean. And I don't understand why people would be not okay.
I just want whatever is safest for my child and me.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation is, whatever is safest is what we're going to be going with.
Yeah.
So of course we have a scale of where we want to start to the last end resort, but if we end up anywhere, then that's completely fine. But then that also leads into epidurals. I've heard so many women be like, oh, I haven't had an epidural, so therefore my birth was harder than it was for you. It doesn't matter if you take an epidural or not. It's your choice. If you want to do that and take an epidural, go ahead. If you don't want to take an epidural, go ahead. I personally never have been through labor, so I have no idea.
Someone's birth isn't any less valid because someone decided to take an epidural. Again,
that's the stupidest thing.
It's just I don't understand. There's a reason why they exist, because some people have very painful labors.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why someone is less of a woman or less of a mother for taking an epidural. That's just toxic and ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the second time you said toxic.
Well, it's true.
Okay, what's another one?
Breastfeeding versus weaning. So breast versus bottle. Again, you're gonna find shocker.
You mean breast versus formula?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, breast milk versus formula, and then how far into adolescence people breastfeed, because apparently that's a hot topic. And
I actually don't know very much about that topic.
Some people will start weaning off at like 6 months.
But I think it's definitely up to the baby, and I definitely think it's up to the mother, and I definitely think it's up to the situation. So,
yeah.
So there's like a lot of people that can't breastfeed and like, or choose not to, which is completely fine. I've actually seen like a lot of people like have to stop it for like mental health reasons, because they feel like they're stuck and they can't do anything in their day-to-day basis, which completely fine.
Postpartum depression's real.
Yeah, I don't really know what we're gonna be doing, just because I've never breastfed before and I've never been in that situation before. So we are prepared for both situations.
Yeah.
Of if I do breastfeed or if I find it challenging, and if I just decide to go formula or if I decide to pump and bottle feed. We are gonna do whatever is best for us. Whatever works will happen.
Yeah.
We definitely would prefer to breastfeed, just because yesterday we were at the grocery store and some guy's trying to steal formula because it's so expensive and you can't find it anywhere. And he's like stealing formula for his baby, which is like super sad. So yeah, we're hoping to breastfeed because it's definitely a cheaper solution. So yeah, breastfeeding would definitely be a cheaper option. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And that's totally fine. And the people who think they're elitist because they breastfeed or because, you know, all this kind of stuff, screw you. It doesn't make you any better.
Our controversial topics is do whatever works for you. We're I'm sure you've probably figured this out already. We're very much pro-choice in the sense of do whatever works for you, do whatever makes sense for you.
Yeah, and leave us alone.
The things that we've definitely seen, especially, is because we have friends who breastfed their kids into 2 years old.
Yeah.
3 years old, I'm pretty sure. And it's like I think the old times, back in the day, some kids were breastfed until 4, 5 even. And that's, you know, it was a different time back then. There was less women in the workforce. There was less societal pressures to be back at work. There wasn't such thing as maternity care. There was just being mothers.
Yeah.
But there's also some people who just, you know, kid wouldn't latch, or there just wasn't enough milk production, and so they switched to formula, and that's perfectly fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can do both.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the next controversial topic?
Sleep training.
Sleep training.
That's a really controversial one as of recently.
Yeah.
Because more and more studies have found that kids who are left to cry themselves to sleep end up having higher cortisol levels, and it's more stressed out when rather than they figure it out themselves, it's more of they exhaust themselves to the point they just pass out.
Yeah, like they're basically, the study says that they're basically crying and then they just stop crying and they put themselves to sleep because they know that you won't show up there for them, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But what we'll be doing is, yes, we will be sleep training. Sleep training in a different sense. Sleep training in a sense that isn't letting your kid like cry to sleep. And if you do that, go ahead. I have never had a baby before, so I don't even know what to do. But I have done a little bit of research on like different ways of sleep training your kid so that they go to sleep. So you don't let them cry. So every time they cry, you go there and you comfort them, but then you leave like once they're comforted, so that they know that you're there. But then they're also being like, okay, I can go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I don't really know how well it's gonna work, just because
it'll eventually it might get to a point where it's just exhausting for both the kid and yourself to constantly be up and around.
But I would prefer to have it like on a scheduled sleep, just so that I can live my life, because like my identity isn't only like being a mom, it's being me. So I'm going to try my best to juggle both of them.
Yeah.
And I have heard that having your kid on a scheduled sleep is excellent. So I will be doing that. I need to do more research.
Another thing though that we are going to try to do especially with having a kid, is making, or at least having it try to fall asleep during some sort of noise. So that it can sleep through a bunch of different things.
Well,
so
during the day.
During the day at least. So while the kid's sleeping, maybe the laundry machine's running, or the dishes are being done in the sink, or I remember seeing one example where the dad was playing Call of Duty with the speakers on, and he had his headphones set on, and the baby was just passed out right on his chest, and it was a newborn.
Yeah, but again,
we're gonna see.
We don't even know.
We don't even know if this is gonna work.
This is
but
all
this is
like
something.
Dreams that we have.
These are hopes we have.
Hopes, yes.
Yeah.
Hopes that we will try to achieve. Which, like, now that we're saying it out loud, and we have been, but now that we're even closer, I'm like, oof. I'm like, let's hope this works.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Yeah. The next.
Oh wait.
Oh.
About sleep training, I don't think it's called sleep training. It's called wake windows. So knowing your kids' wake windows.
Yes, that's the sleep training. I'm pretty sure only pertains to people actually just letting their kid pass out and teaching them how to just fall asleep on their own and not fuss.
Where this one's about wake windows, the method that I have heard about.
Yes, correct.
But I don't really know much about it. Well, I do. I'm not very educated though, so I will not be.
We're not experts on these topics. These are just our humble opinions of parents to be. But the next one, for whatever reason, has also blown up, and that's kissing your kids on the lips. I don't think we're going to be doing that.
Yeah, no one will be kissing our child.
No one's going to be kissing our child
on the lips.
We're not going to let anybody really kiss our kid.
Yes.
Because there's so many times that kids have been passed around essentially like a trophy.
But like
and kissed. But
I just don't think. I think it's like I don't want anyone kissing our kid for a number of reasons. I am really big on dental hygiene.
Yes.
And there has been research that if you have a cavity or a cold sore and you kiss a baby, now they have that. And I don't know who has cold sores. I don't know where people's mouths have been. I would prefer if our kid wasn't infected with cold sores at such a young age and then has to deal with it for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I just think that's very unfair. So if they decide to kiss someone when they're older that has a cold sore, then that's definitely up to them. But
it's as duty as parents.
Yeah,
I think, our duty as parents.
To make sure that they don't have to suffer with those kind of long-term issues, such as cavities or cold sores.
Yeah.
So please do not kiss our kid.
If you see us in public.
Greatly appreciated.
But that kind of leads into the last point and the last kind of controversial topic, and it's been nicknamed sharenting. But it's essentially just posting your kid on social media or making it all about your social media, all about your kid. And I personally don't agree with having your kid as like the forefront of social media. And you're gonna find this later out in our videos that we're likely not gonna be showing our child on the channel.
We don't know how we're going to
how it's going to work
how we're going to do that.
Yeah. But
we do think that keeping them off of social media, it might be better. We just
hearing the monstrosity of people and what they've done with images of children on the internet,
child exploitation,
it's just sickening, and we don't want that for our kid.
And we also don't want to make a profit off of off of posting our child.
So we personally don't find it something that resonates with us.
Yeah.
Again, if you are someone who likes to post your kids on social media and make your, you know, have a YouTube channel around them, or their own separate Instagram page, or whatever it is.
But not even like
that is your prerogative. That's not for us.
I know, but like there's like a lot of people that like don't make their whole YouTube channel or their whole social media platform about their child, but they do show their child sometimes. So we don't really know how we're going to navigate that situation. It's gonna kind of be an ongoing discussion
between us, especially
between us, continuously.
Yeah.
I just don't know how I feel about it. Like, of course I would want to share them because like they're such a big part of our life, just like our cats are. But again, I don't think that that's appropriate, because if they grow up,
they don't want to be the, oh yeah, I'm just Andre and Kasia's kid.
Yeah, or like, I don't want people knowing such
intimate details about them.
Yeah, or I don't know. Social media now is very scary, and like I don't really know how to navigate it. Like, even showing parts of our life is sometimes worrisome.
Mm-hmm.
So it's such a hard situation, but we're going to navigate it, and you guys will probably never see our child. And
if you do, that means that something changed in our minds. That's fine. And that's another thing that we've really want to be an advocate of, is it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to think differently. You don't always have to stick to your guns. If something happens and you decide that something else is maybe a value that you resonate with more, that's perfectly okay. We find so many times that people have a predisposition on what it means to be a parent or be a mother, and they won't allow themselves to maybe view something from a different viewpoint. And we've essentially looked at all of these different topics as a way of saying, this is how we currently feel about it right now. This may change, and if it does change, that's okay. If you don't agree with it, that's totally fine. And
one thing that I don't agree with is abusing your children. So that's
a given. That's beyond. Yeah.
But especially emotional abuse.
Yeah. There's so many different forms of emotional and even like mental and physical abuse that might not just be striking.
But that's like one thing that, like, if someone did that, I would be like, you suck. Yeah. But yeah, those are our controversial
We ended on such a dark note.
And hopefully soon you guys can not see me pregnant. I was gonna say see the baby, but imagine
except it's a child.
Yeah.
But again, we're just gonna reiterate the disclaimer. We're not even parents yet.
We don't even know what we're talking about.
We don't even know what we're talking about. So these are our humble opinions, and this is what we've gathered through our time with different people, different authorities, different, whatever places of knowledge. You guys are more than welcome to share your opinion down below. Yeah. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.